Harry, listen, I'm so modest, I can admit my own fault. And my only fault is I don't realize how great I really am.
Where my champions at? Where my champions? Dim the lights just to recreate the ambience. I'm about to murder the stage, call an ambulance. Moment of silence, my condolences.
Bring us in, go. Hello. Welcome, everybody. My name's Todd Straugh, Sales Director, Grant Cardone's office. Coming to you guys live from Miami Beach. And got about 20 minutes for you guys today. Cardone On Demand Managers Support Webinar. If this is your first support webinar, I'm just going to give you a quick why we even do these. We've got a lot of videos in our system. You've got a lot of salespeople. There's customers coming in the dealership. There's reports. There's problems. There's your agenda, and then there's your salespeople's agenda. And there's always this big shortage of time. So all we're trying to do today is give you one or two or three actionable ideas, give you something to think with, give you something to analyze, run you through some best practices, and really just help you bridge the gap between what we provide in terms of the valuable content and really how to make it work inside your business every single day. So my name's Todd Straugh. We've got an internal sales team here. We've got outside salespeople. Same problems that you run into every single day. Myself, Jared Grant Cardone, us as managers, we have the same problems that you guys have, which is how do I get my salespeople motivated every day? How do I continue to improve the word tracks that come out of their mouth? How do I make sure their follow-up strategy is being executed the way that we mocked it up? How do I make sure the quality's there? How do I make sure the attention's on sales and service and customer attainment and phones and follow-up and personal development with our system all at the same time? So, we share your same concerns. The problems that you guys have, we get it. And my intention today is to give you about 3 or 4 things that you can either make sure that you're doing already and just, this could be a validation webinar for you in terms of you're doing everything right. Or it could mean that there's 1 or 2 things that you could be doing in your business that would make a difference in your bottom line. So today we're going to be talking about accountability. At the end of this webinar, I'm going to run you through a list of 11 things that you could do with your team to create more of a system and a process for training, rewards and penalties for training and not training. And we'll wrap it up with the list. If you guys want the list at the end, you guys can email me, Todd at Grant Cardone. And before we get to that accountability list, we're going to talk about some follow-up strategies, some crucial strategies that must be in place for today's customer. 48% of all salespeople, they don't even make one follow-up call. Only 25% of salespeople will make 2 attempts before they give up on the customer. And 80% of transactions in today's marketplace, they happen between the 5th and the 12th attempt. So 5 to 12 attempts, that's the holy grail for us in our business. In our business, it's how many times have you reached out to the customer? How many times have you contacted them? How many times have they engaged with you? And the holy grail for us is 5 to 12. We don't even expect anything to happen unless they're in that range of 5 to 12 attempts. So ask your salespeople, how come you don't follow up at least 5 to 12 times? If you ask your managers, your standard response is, my salespeople are lazy. Okay, so you don't need to ask your managers that. We've probably heard that enough times to know that that's the number one response we get from managers. But by asking the salespeople, we said, hey, why don't you follow up? If 5 to 12 is where you could unlock 80% more opportunities, why aren't you doing it? And I guarantee you, they need the money. They want the deal. They probably need the money more than you do. They want the business. They're out of things to say. So your people need a boot camp. They need a 2-week total immersion plan. When was the last time you ran a 2-week boot camp on 10 or 15 or 30 different ways to follow up one customer? When's the last time you did it? When's the last time you spent 2 weeks on one subject? When's the last time you hit the management section for boot camps and you spent 2 weeks on that one critical area, follow up? Okay, give yourself a grade on this one. Okay, if your salespeople are always a reflection of you. Right now, if our sales team does great, that means I'm doing a good job. If my sales team is suffering, that means there's something I'm not doing. If your team is struggling with follow-up, look in the mirror and find out how much attention you've given to your people on following up. Because we've got the data, but if you're not using it with your team, if you're not bridging the gap, if you're not holding them accountable, it's not going to matter, because there's no way they're going to. We've got 1,500 segments of content. It's easy to get lost in the platform. So you as the manager, your job is to guide the activity in the system. Have your daily requirements, do 3 to 6 every day in order, do your certifications, but after that, we're all going to hammer down on follow-up. There's a big opportunity. Nobody's doing enough follow-up in the country right now, so we're going to master follow-up for the next 2 weeks. Okay, if you need help with the battle plan, call our office, ask for Wayne or ask for Marcel, ask for any of the sales guys, ask for myself, and we'll help you create a 2-week battle plan. How do you do it? You go to our follow-up tool, okay, our follow-up box. There's about 3 to 6 months of training just in the follow-up content. 8 things that you need to make sure your people are doing something with every single day. Number 1 thing, are they texting your customers every single day? If you're taking notes, write the 8 things to write down. You don't have to write down everything, but write these 8 things down. Do my people text every customer within 5 minutes of the customer leaving? And do they do a continual drip? Are they texting? Actual text. Do they use photos of the vehicle that the customer came in to see? Do they send a selfie video of the interior? Do they send them a video of the worksheets and the numbers and the salesperson, the service department? Is texting a part of your business? Number 2, emails. Are your people equipped with emails on their phones, on their computers? Do they have a good signature set up? Is it professional, or do they use their personal Yahoo account? Do they have a Gmail set up through the dealership with links that's a professional, real email address? If they leave, you can capture the data. Calling, phones, okay? That's sort of the old school, that's the always. You know, I got off the phone with the dealership yesterday, and their requirement is 10 calls per day. So I don't know anybody that's going to sell a lot of cars doing 10 calls per day, but calling, that's one. Number 4, personal visits. When's the last time your salesperson drove a vehicle to the customer and rolled up into their driveway? When's the last time they did that? Mail, okay? Handwritten notes. We have a policy in our office. Customer sees the program. We look up the actual the address of the location. The salesperson, they'll do between 5 and 10 handwritten notes. We drop them off. We have a person in our office that's dedicated for just shipping out all these handwritten notes. All they have to do is have the address. They write the note, put a few business cards, and bam, within 2 days, the customer's getting a handwritten note. Gifts, number 6, gifts, mail out gifts. Number 7, friends. Are they adding customers on Facebook? Are they adding them on Twitter? Did they add them on LinkedIn? Did they send them an email? The Octypus approach, I like to call it. You take a customer, you just got their cell phone number. That's part 1. You've got an email address, part 2. You shipped them a handwritten note. That's part 3. You found them on Facebook, 4. You hit them on Twitter, 5. You liked a few pictures on Instagram, 6. You hit them up on Snapchat, 7. And then you showed up in the driveway, that's 8. That's the Octypus approach. When's the last time your salespeople Octypused every single unsold customer from the last 90 days? And when's the last time you did a 2-week training on this? 10 to 15 minutes a day, 14 days on one subject, and then pick something new. Okay, all the content is inside the training center. Okay, this training center is not just for your salespeople. It's for you guys. The way that today's customer is different than 5 years ago. Today's customer, they have an iPhone. They've got a smartphone. They're actually in your showroom. They're looking at a car. They're getting numbers from a salesperson, and they're shopping 4 or 5 dealerships down the street, and they're in front of your salesperson. They're showing you their phone saying, this guy's $50 less. What can you do for me? The customers are different, technology's different, and you have to constantly evolve your strategies must get better to keep up with the way technology in the marketplace is shifting. So your follow-up, okay? Plan out your 2-week boot camp. If you're stuck, call our office, okay? 14 days on follow-up. It's a 10-minute meeting. You're going to show a video on the ways to follow up. You're going to make it a policy. You're going to practice it. Type out the text that they're going to be sending. Send one message to your people every day. That's what I do. Every morning, I try to create one email and one text message that I can send to my team, and all they have to do is copy and paste. Because sometimes there's people in my office that if they have to think, it's not going to happen. So I do it for them. I create the quality, I create the content, and I send one message to my entire team, and all they have to do is copy and paste, and they blast it out. So create the content, run the sales meetings, drill it down for 14 days, and if you get stuck, call our office. The follow-up box has everything you need for your 14-day battle plan. Okay. The last thing that we're going to shift into, because I know you guys got deals to get to, and your salespeople are lined up outside the door. I'm looking at 3 salespeople right now lined up. They got questions for me too. So what I want to do is I want to rattle off some ideas, some creative things that you can do with your team this year to make it a little different than it was last year. If your people do the training to do the training, that's not really the point. The point is that they get inside, they want to get inside, they go through the system to solve problems, and they enjoy being inside there, and they're there for a purpose, and that's to get better. And so what I want to rattle off is some best practices, dealerships that we work with that use these strategies to keep their people engaged in the system. So in addition to the usage reports, in addition to the automated reports that we can send out to you, what they'll do is they'll create these rules and these games within the system that creates motivation. It creates accountability. And so for you guys, if you guys want this list, just send me an email, todd@grantcardone.com, and I'll just forward it over to you. If you just want to jot these down, that's great. But it's going to be a list of 11 things. If you guys have any questions, feel free to chat in. And then we'll wrap up for today, so we'll keep it short and tight. Number 1, no training equals no weekly spiffs. Almost every dealership I've ever spoken to, they do contests, they give out cash, spiffs, right? You have to qualify for the spiffs. If you show up on a did not train report, no spiffs for you for the week. Number 2, no training equals you just opted out a bonus for the month. The bonuses are no longer just this thing that the dealership is required to do. You must qualify for bonus. The only way you do that is you get your minimum segments of training done. You hit the minimums, you can qualify for bonus. If you don't hit the minimums, you just get the standard commission. The bonuses disappear. It's up to you. Training here is optional, but if you want bonuses, get your training done. That's option 2. Option 3, no training equals you just got skipped in the up rotation today. Every time a customer comes in the actual dealership, if it was your turn, now you're getting skipped. Now you only get every other turn. You get skipped for the whole day on number 4. No training means you're out of the service, the up rotation for the entire day or for the entire weekend. For those reps, have them cold call service tickets. Have them cold call orphan owners. Have them follow up with all those internet leads that aren't getting converted. But you're not taking a fresh lead. I don't want you to practice on my customer. If you're not practiced, if you're not drilled and rehearsed, I've got a live customer that's coming in, and I've got trained salespeople, and then there's untrained salespeople. Okay? If you're untrained, you're not going to practice on my customer. So go cold call some service tickets and get your training done tomorrow. That's option 4. Option 5, no training equals strike 1, strike 2, strike 3, and you're out of a job. Strike 1's a written warning. Strike 2's a written and a verbal. Strike 3, you're fired. Go down the street. Number 6. Okay, now so those are sort of the penalty side of the system. If there's penalties in place, some people operate with penalties in mind, and I don't want to be in trouble. And other people are motivated by rewards and bonuses and extras. So now we're going to segue into the bonuses and the upside of it. Top trained person for the week, double their weekly spiff. Okay, they get an extra something. Number 7, top trained person for the month, they get an extra monthly bonus. Maybe you times their monthly bonus by 2, or you do something crazy to make it very attractive to be the most trained person. Option number 8, the top 3 most trained reps in the dealership, they get an extra 1 to 3% commission bonus. Number 9, the most consistent rep with the training, they get the consistency bonus. Maybe it's a $100 gas card. Maybe it's a $200 gift card. Maybe it's cash, but it's a consistency bonus. Number 10, if everybody on the team trains for the week, every single person must do it. They must hit the requirement. If one person misses training, the entire team loses their team training bonus. Maybe you don't buy lunch for that weekend if nobody's trained. Maybe on the weekends you always buy lunch, but maybe that's a requirement for training now. Maybe the spiffs is only contingent on everybody training. And number 11, if everybody trains for the month, an extra bonus for the whole team. There's a bonus. If all 4 weeks are done consecutively, there's one extra team bonus. There's a pot of gold at the end. And if everybody hits their training, every single person, every single day of the month, then there's an extra $1,000 cash prize saved for every single person on the team. If you want the list, email me, todd@grantcardone.com. If you have any questions, call our offices, 310-777-0255. My name's Todd, CardoneOnDemand.com. Make sure your people get their training in every single day, and we'll see you guys next time. Take care.
I'm not conceited, I'm just convinced.